In my seat, baby. So, okay, what is going on, y'all? So we have Baby Central today. I am here with my friend Taylor Matthews, and her little one. And we have little ones together. Only mine is a big little one. So let me see if anybody is on. Can you see me? Okay, hang on. We're telling more followers to join your video. Okay. So as we get started, so the reason why we're on today is because we are talking about, this month is Maternal Mental Health Awareness. Being that you have a little one, I would love to dive in to like some of what your journey was. Adjusting, because baby is now
5 months.
5 months. Almost 6.
In 2 days.
And in 2 days. 6 months.
Happening too fast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and so side note, I was the doula in the room. So, to see how fast she's grown and stuff like that really is a whole thing. So, maternal mental health. So maternal mental health can really look any number of ways. Ranging from postpartum depression to postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, and there's several other ones. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was, okay, so I'll ask this question before I get there. So, postpartum, what was your postpartum journey like? Because you're still in it. You're still in it. Yes, you are. You're still in it. But what was some of the things that you experienced in your postpartum? Like, what were some of the challenges that you were not aware that was going to happen?
Some of the challenges that I wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware of how the mommy switch can just be like boom.
Yes.
I wasn't aware of that. And I wasn't aware that there were multiple switches.
Yes.
There was the first one.
Hey, if you're watching, can you just give me a thumbs up real fast, just so that I know you can hear us. But yeah, so all those switches going off at the same time.
Like the first switch, obviously, when I found out I was pregnant, that was a big switch.
Yeah.
And then when had some switches along the way, but then when she got there, that was like the ultimate switch where I instantly just kind of zoomed in on her.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest challenge during the whole thing, and still can be a challenge for me, is realizing that, my life is still a thing that needs nurturing also, in addition to her. And realizing that if my life is not being nurtured, then I can't give her the fullness of mommy. So that's something that I have to constantly pay attention to, because I can really zoom in on her and forget basic things, eating, just little things throughout the day. If I and then I'm working from home and stuff too, even making sure that I get into work, but I still have to, take care of myself. I still have to eat while I'm at work. I can't just, I gotta work. She sleep. Let me get my work done while she sleep. Well, no, let you eat something.
Yeah.
Maybe lay back for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Breathe.
Maybe text a few people,
right?
say good morning. Just little things that I really want to make sure I'm doing.
Like connect back into the world. Because sometimes we can get real, laser focused on them. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that I definitely did. I was very much a homebody. Obviously the pandemic was one thing, but then having her and being home, I was content right there for a long time. Even after knowing that I wanted to go out, I was still like, I'm gonna be home. So breaking out of that was the thing. So
check this out. So I'm gonna drop a vocabulary word on you guys. So I want you guys to look it up. And put a thumbs up, something in the comments if you've ever heard this word before, because it is a brand new word to me.
All right.
And I owe it all to TikTok, because TikTok University is on the rise these days. Check this out. So the word is called, please stop kicking. The word is called matrescence.
Matrescence.
So listen. So it's the idea. So it's matrescence, very similar to adolescence. When kids are becoming adults, they go through adolescence. Now check this out. Matrescence, what you're talking about when those flips, those switches start flipping, and there's a space for us. There's a space for us.
Okay.
And it's a word, it's an old school word, and it's no longer used as much. But look, ma'am, I will pause for you. You give it to me, girl. Give it to me. Yes, baby, yes.
She said, I know about that word.
Yes. Dude, look,
teach us.
I'm here for it.
That's it? Yes. The matrescence.
So
you heard it here first.
Yes. So you heard it here first with Little Miss. So matrescence is the ma'am, I need you to lay down. So matrescence is the journey in which a woman goes through from womanhood into motherhood. Now I always talk about what's the word? The different sides of womanhood and stuff like that, because like where women can be very aggressive, but then they could be very mild, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's very important to recognize that women have this duality. That's the word I'm looking for. The duality of womanhood, where we can be very aggressive and very strong and very bold in our actions, and then we can be very meek and very mild and very, and some people will say like, oh, as a woman you can only be this. But the problem with only being one thing is that you literally do not get to see the full expansion of the character. You know what I mean? Like it's in every movie and stuff like that. You want to see the character grow. But if I'm only ever this, you never get to see the fullness. So if I'm very meek and I'm very mild and I'm very put together and stuff like that, but I get into the birth room and I try to maintain this mentality, I don't get to experience the fullness of my personality, right? Versus
so you preaching.
You preaching to me.
She preaching. I know she.
And so you hear Jesse say, So recognizing matrescence. So from that standpoint of that word, throwing that word out there, how do you see your journey now?
Matrescence. I see. Will you go
clean this off?
Thank you so much.
Go clean it off.
I definitely see.
Go run and bring it back.
The essence of my matrescence. I see it.
Yeah, right.
I see that in full effect. I see it developing every day.
Yeah.
All new things. And I now that I have knowledge of what that space is, I appreciate it a little more. A lot more.
Yeah.
Because another thing, the hugest thing that I went through was always, wondering if I'm a good enough mom for her. And, not even outside of the fact, it's my first time being a mom and I have to learn all these things. Because really, no matter how many times you've been a mom, you learn the learning thing. It happens every time, I feel like. Time. So it was really just understanding that I not only have what it takes because, God made me a woman and all these things. He created me to do this, but also she chose my womb.
Yeah. So I think it's important. Yeah.
Understanding that whole revelation and just really taking the time to
me too.
She wants you. just taking the time to even acknowledge her and thanking her for choosing me. Just having those conversations with her, knowing that she is a spirit.
Yes.
It really uplifted me a lot to know that her spirit, whether she knows it right now or not, when she was in spirit, she chose this way, and it helped me even navigating through things with her father and just that whole beginning stage. Really it helped things just come really easy, even though there was a lot going on. The whole another postpartum thing was just I think I did really, thank you so much. I think I did probably overly well at becoming kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't actively assume that it was just me by myself, but I definitely fell into a state of, I have to get up, I have to do this, I have to, I have to me. Yeah, it's me. I'm the one. And not on purpose, because I felt that certain supports that I thought would be there weren't there either. Yeah. And so, but I do think that it gave me the grace to, for whatever would have happened, like as, circa now, it gave me the grace to, just do what I needed to do for her and myself, regardless of other dynamics in my life. So,
yeah. So, okay, so what was one major help for you to maintain your mental health in this last 6 months? Or even into pregnancy, because maternal mental health, it really does cover pregnancy as well. And so what helped you to stay grounded and well?
The help that I use is understanding that even though I knew that when she was born, like when I found out that I was pregnant, one thing I was very intentional about was my emotional state all the time. And understanding, like I always understood, okay, you're developing her, so as you're developing her, she's feeling what you're feeling. Yeah. She's, taking in what you're internalizing. There's certain things that you may not want to, just go through the motions on right now. Yeah. And so that helped me then, and, it helps me now, because even though she's out, because she's still a product of me and she's still developing, I nurse her and all these things, but even outside of all of that, my hormones, my everything has become another person. Part of her. Knowing that, I feel like she's still connected to me, and it helps me to remember, hey, your life is really not your own. And you have to be very conscious. So I'm very, very conscious about how I handle situations, to the point where if I really need to get it out, I'll make sure she's nowhere near me first. I'll give her to my mom. I remember a specific situation where I had gone through a conversation that didn't end well, and because it was with her dad, and before I could even let my emotions out, I was trying to find my mother so that I could give her to my mother, because I didn't want to release those over her. So I was like, I just need you to take her for like 5 minutes. I'll be right back. And I just went and did what I had to do and felt it all. I think it's important to feel it all, because sometimes we can get into the space of numbing ourselves, and ignoring ourselves. And that was something that I did fall into. I didn't get to give too much life to it, but it was definitely something that became present during my 6 months. Definitely. It was so it was there. Yourself. Yes, ignoring me, ignoring everything, the problems, ignoring it all, and just making sure that I could get up to nurse every hour or whatever. And that could lead to its own issues. Yes. So your mom was a big help. She was. I can't, yes, I know, because I know your parents, and they, like, I see your parents, I'm like, well, do y'all need another kid? I just feel like, I've said that to them, like, do y'all need another kid? Because I just feel like you guys are home to me. Like, how good you guys listen, they are always in the adopting business. Yeah. Everybody has Matthew on the end of their last name and married name. So, it's so funny, but, They have been amazing. They were amazing. They have been nothing but supportive of our little family, our dynamic, however we choose to do things. They've been like pastors in home. The way that they were able to, cover us and allow him to be around while, I was going through my first, what was it, like 6 weeks, he was really present, even how they allow him to just be over, when it came closer to time, and just really covering us in that space, because they knew what was happening and what the family needed. Yes, they knew what the family needed. Yes, and so I just that is an experience that I will forever appreciate. How they covered me, even through finding out, that I was pregnant, and us being, believers, and how they, how they responded, everything, just everything.
Yeah. Okay, so if you were to come across a mom who was pregnant, what would be your advice to her on maintaining her mental wellness from pregnancy into postpartum? What would that look like?
My advice to her would be to do whatever you need to do to be conscious of your baby all the time.
Yeah.
Communicate before she's here.
Yeah.
Like
making them important, making them a part of making them a part of your story. You
Absolutely.
know?
I wrote to her in a journal. And I would, there was a time where I was writing every day. There's a time where I was writing, like week to week, and then month to month. I still have the journal.
Yeah.
And I've been, just kind of being led on how to get back into it, because I just want to be intentional when I go in there. But I did that. And I also, I did some affirmations for myself to just kind of speak over her birth, and I would literally say those every morning. If I ever forgot, I would just say the ones that I remember, just to kind of voice and communicate to that. Just create your space early. Think about it's never too early to think about anything as a mom. It's never too early to think about the birth room, the plan. It's never too early to think about her while she's here. It's never too early to start doing and also validate your feelings too, like how you feel about her or him, matters. Early, as soon as possible, it matters. So that would be my advice. Okay. My advice would be to make sure that y'all are a thing before she becomes a thing to everybody.
To everybody else.
She's right here with you. Y'all need to be a thing.
You guys, this is your ace right here.
Yes,
this is your ace.
This is your A1.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Your A1.
Yeah, you are her day one.
Day
right?
one.
That's crazy.
So you have to establish that more than just, well, I'm her mother, and no, it's a little bit deeper, and explore how deep you want it to go, because she'll be ready for it, and you'll be surprised at how they know,
She didn't mean it. It was an accident.
Yeah.
So last question. All right. So how did your birth room experience help or hinder your postpartum?
Woo! My birth room experience definitely, people say, if you can give birth to a child, you could do anything.
Yeah.
But it definitely made me feel like I can do anything.
Yeah.
And it also helped me to really know that God would never leave me nor forsake me.
Yeah. Even in the thick of it. Like just everything. We all have these pictures of what we want it to look like and how we want it to go. And, I can tell you, even before the birth room, it was not going that way. There were plenty of times where, I had questions and I didn't really know what to do. But I held on to, the promise that I had that that God would be glorified through her and through my birth. I remember those distinctly being different. Like, I would get glory in your birth and I would get glory through her life. Yeah. So, that's awesome. Just really, remembering all of those different obstacles, that we had to talk about. They would tell me something, and then you would interpret it to me so I could understand it while in labor. And then there would be this conversation with God where He was just like, do you still believe that I can get glory out of this? Despite I know what you hear, I know what's going on, but do you still believe? And I just say yes. And He'll be like, all right, so we're going to do this. And I'll be like, okay, Jen, I want to do this. And then we're going to do it. So, and it just kept going like that. And then when it finally was up, when it was done and she was here and I felt her warm body, God was just like, I told you. And it just overwhelmed me. I was like, you did, you told me. And so ever since that moment, ever since that day, I can't afford to question, whether He's with me, whether He's with her, He checks me every time. It's like, whoa, we ain't going too far to that left,
you know what's up, you know, and I'd be like, yeah, I know what's up.
Yes,
okay.
sir, yes,
sir.
You know, so from the outside looking in, so one, I would say of your birthing time, I would say your confidence gave me confidence, which is odd for me as the doula, because my confidence is usually what steers the ship. But like I think we started working together at least week 38, week 39. I think you hired me at 38. We met 39. We got in the birth room at 40. So it was very unique, and it was very like and it was very much a trusting God moment, you know. And so like usually for me, when people hire that late, it's because of a lack of because there's some lack somewhere, and they're trying to make up for it with a doula. And so like I have to go into the birth room understanding like, hey, okay, so what am I getting myself into? And I have to be very, very confident. And so for me, it was really just a trust Jesus moment, which was okay for me, because I like that's my wheelhouse. But what I noticed was like you were so calm that you were not lacking anything. You were not lacking anything, and that's what I experienced. You were not lacking anything. You had the support. Like Mom was a wild support. Like I was like, man, do you want to be my doula? Will you doula the doula while I'm doula? You know, like, but like, and you were surefire on like the things that you wanted, which you did not want. You knew where you did not want to birth. And you knew your options. You know, we had to do some last minute wrangling of where we were actually going to birth. And it turned out so beautiful. What I love about your story is that, like, even though you may not, like, latch onto the support early, you know what I mean? Like, you may not have latched onto the doula support early. You knew when was the time you needed it. You got what you needed, and you exhausted it.
Yeah.
there was no part of it with, and I think sometimes with a doula, you know, some people they get the doula too early or they get the doula too late, and they still don't utilize the doula to the extent of the services, you know, because it's like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience you, you know. And in my head, I'm like, girl, come through, let me serve you. And you definitely use everything in my arsenal, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I appreciate you just being open to everything, because, you know, in all honesty, I always knew how I wanted my birth to go, even when I was like really, really young. But I didn't know how to go about making those things happen. And, you know, in the beginning, I didn't know that things were going to turn out the way that they did. I didn't know any of that was going to happen. And, you know, in my experience, you know, a lot of the people that I was reaching out to had let me know that they don't really take, you know, clients so late. And so, you know, even when it came to it, I was pretty hesitant. Hi, Mommy. Do you need something?
Do you want your mom? Do you want to see her face?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, please, thank you.
So even when it came down to it, you know, I was really, you know, hesitant, but, you know, I kept getting confirmed by my good friend Veronica. She came to me like 3 different times throughout my pregnancy and was like, "Have you talked to Virginia?" I was like, at first it was like, no, because I'm already talking to this person, da 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 da, and then it was like, "Have you talked to Jen yet?" And I was like, no, not yet. I'm gonna see, you know, what's going on with what I have going on, and then what I had going on just kind of went out completely, and I was like, then she asked again, and I was like,
you took a shower already? Oh, in here? Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're live. I'm sorry. I'm not taking this conversation. I'm busy. Yes, we are live.
But no, it was just, when it came through the third time.
Thank you so much.
And she's like, "Have you talked to Jen?" At this point, it was really late, and I had already tried to call, you know, different people, because I felt like, you know, I don't know who would do this right now, you know, and she probably has so many people at this point. But when she said it again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her. Okay,
go to your dad.
Let's see what happens. The worst she can say is, you know, I can't do it, and you've received that already, and you know what to do if you do. So whatever. And you know, you were open. You were like, well, you know, you believe Jesus, I believe Jesus. That kind of makes it a little bit easier, because we can believe him together for whatever is going on.
Let's just put some wheels on it. I mean, like, you believe, I believe. Let's go for it.
It worked out perfectly fine, and I was just like, yes. And the Lord, he told me not to worry, and he told me that, you know, it was well, and you had what I needed regardless. So I was not hesitant for anything, any service. I still have access to all my stuff, my classes. I got classes I still need to do, you know. So I don't feel cheated. I don't feel like I missed anything, you know, in my experience, because you know, when you trust the Lord, or when you learn to trust Him, learning to trust Him, it covers those places that you didn't trust Him.
Yeah,
because
it covers the inadequacy, and I would definitely say in your story, I definitely saw like trust being the biggest thing, the biggest outlining factor. Like you had to trust God. I had to trust God, and out came a baby. I'm a baby. And it feels good to see you doing so well. It feels good, like, Praise to see God. You know, on the other side, because like not everybody has the support. Not everybody has the mental agility. Come on, because that's what you need, is mental agility to keep up with the changes that you're going through so rapidly. Yes. Well, from the time of pregnancy into, you know, birthing, and then, you know, into early mommyhood and stuff like that.
She's like, I know how to sit up, so I have to sit up all the time because I know how, right?
Because I know how I have to do the things.
Oh, are you reaching for me? Okay.
But yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for being a friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the same.
Yes, yes, and sharing your little baby with us. Yes. Look. So maternal mental health awareness month is this month, and really keep an eye out on your mom friends who are journeying. And if you are in your pregnancy to postpartum season, make sure you find support, whether it is with families, with a doula, or there's a hotline. It's PSI, it's Postpartum Support International. So they have a website, they have great information. If you get a chance, reach out to them if you do need help. And don't be afraid to identify, so raise your hand and be like, yes, that's me, I need some help. Because when you are in a healthy community, there's always someone to reach out to. And if you are in an unhealthy community, there's always someone to reach out to that is not in that community, who will give you the support and the tools that you need to journey through this matrescent season as you transition from womanhood into motherhood, and all the different variations of what that could look like. Look, I am so glad to be here with y'all tonight. I am about to jump off here, and we are going to come back with Dinner with the Doulas live, and we are going to be talking about we're going to be talking about postpartum depression specifically tonight. So please jump back on in about 30 or so minutes. I will see you guys soon. Love y'all.